Welcome, everybody, to the ProVideo Page podcast. My name is Ann Gusseth, your host, and I am joined today by Susan Fennema, who is the Chaos Eradicating Officer, the CEO of her company, Beyond the Chaos. Welcome, Susan.
Thanks for having me, Ann. I'm looking forward to this.
So, Susan, you're going to be doing not just this podcast, but we've got you coming up on an episode for the webinar series. And what I'd like to do is to start by reading the short bio that you provided me so that people could get an idea of what you do. Susan Fennema is the Chaos Eradicating Officer of Beyond the Chaos, a consultancy helping small business owners extricate themselves from their day-to-day business operations to grow their businesses and get their lives back. It's a great thing. She and her team have served over 200 small businesses, and with 30 plus years of operations and project management experience in professional service industries, Susan is on a mission to improve American society exponentially. Okay, tell me a little bit about how you can, improve American society exponentially.
Absolutely. So small business is the backbone of America. And small business owners are the ones with all of the creativity and drive to push people forward. They touch a lot of people every day. Their families, of course, their team, their vendors, their clients. And when they are acting in a state of overwhelm, those relationships are not always that great. And that can affect people. You run into people in the store and you're like, oh, must be having a bad day. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Or at least you're trying to give them the grace that they're not always
Yeah.
These are the types of people that if you can take them out of their overwhelm, all of a sudden they can see things differently. They're interacting with people differently. And that is exponential because those people then interact with people differently. And so that's how we're seeing our mission is to improve the lives of these small business owners. So we're improving all the rest of this too.
Exactly. And that makes so much sense. A word that came to mind is leverage, but it's not exactly leverage. It's just
passing it on.
It's passing it on, and it's exponential. And I also like giving people grace. I like to say we've all got our stuff, and it's not worth fretting over that person who's nasty to you at the supermarket, even when they don't know you.
Right.
That's not about you. That's about them.
And when you're less overwhelmed in your business world, you're also a lot more able to give those other people grace too.
Exactly.
When you're all wound up, you're like everything will set you off. And so being able to extend that grace when someone else needs it is also part of that.
Exactly. So tell me about what you do to improve American society exponentially.
We work with small business owners who are really trapped in the day-to-day of their business ops, and we're pulling them out of that. So we're looking at what kind of software are they using? What are the processes that they're following or not? Do they have the right team? Should they have a fractional project manager or a fractional virtual assistant who comes in and takes some of the little tasks off their plate? And we're helping them to feel more comfortable that when they do delegate, that things will get done properly because we have a system in place or a process written down, not just in the owner's head. End goal is to give that owner space to actually grow his business as he's able to hand off and delegate some of those things that have been in his or her head for so long. And that gives that business more opportunity to hire more people. Now we're back to the touching American society again.
Right.
And it gives that owner the opportunity to go on vacation, to have dinner with his family, go to her kids' soccer games, whatever are the priorities that they're missing out on in life because they're so overwhelmed by everything in their business.
I've got to think, I've been a small business owner for, going on 15 years now. And it's easy to find oneself building, and I love to build things, to build and then go, oh, wow, now I've got so many moving parts. It's literally when you said making space, I was thinking, well, when you put something down in a process on paper or in the computer, you're actually freeing up the brain space, right? Where like our calendar, well, I don't know what my day is tomorrow because Google's got my calendar. I don't have to worry about that, right?
Right.
And I know that it's safe there. Same thing with the processes. Is that right?
Absolutely. And so, especially as small business owners, we want things done the way we want them done. We've had success in executing it that way. But what we've done is we've put all this ownership on us to make sure it happens that way. And our team can't work without us because we've made them dependent on us. If you can
Right.
push that accountability down to your team, now you're not interrupted as much. Now you can go
Right.
on vacation unplugged. You can't do those things if every decision, if every new client project, if every invoice needs you.
Good point there. I was also thinking basically if everything is in the owner's head or the president's head, then he or she has to justify why we're doing something a certain way. And then it's a lot of, nah, nah, nah. Remember, do it this way. It's like when I nag my kids, for the, umpteenth time because they're not loading the dishwasher the way that I want it loaded. And if I just, maybe that's not a great
No, it's a great
example,
example
but
because you could have a process and tell them they have to follow it. And then if they
right,
don't, you hold them accountable to go back and fix it the way you told them to fix it. Or that
right,
you do it over, right? They fix
right.
what they didn't do right.
Because what often happens in my house is I am a broken record because there's some other things going on with, kids and stuff. And I'm like, pick my battle. Okay, I'll just redo it. And that's not healthy, is it?
Not.
Especially for a business owner, because then that affects the culture of the company.
Absolutely. And you're not giving people the opportunity to exceed your expectations. And they really do want to. I think some owners also feel like by holding on to that, they're needed. But if you are going down the path, let's look at it long term. We're all going to transition out of our businesses one way or the other, either well or not well. And if something were to happen to you today, what happens? Have you thought about that? Do you have something in place that your team can continue? Or how do you even notify clients? How are you letting people down? And are you building a business that in the end could be sold or could be handed down so that you have a structure where you're not involved? Because a new buyer isn't going to buy a job. They want to buy a company.
Well, and really these processes that you put in place, and also, I come from the marketing world, and looking at marketing as a system and putting those processes in place, you build marketing into an asset. And the same goes in the other areas of your business as well. And if you don't have those in place, your company is not worth as much.
Absolutely. And that will be a question they will ask you usually. When's the last time you took a vacation? And if you proudly say, I haven't had one in 20 years, well, guess what? The value of your business goes down, not up because of that.
Exactly. Exactly. Actually, I would say not only does the value go down, but that buyer is probably gone.
Probably slow.
That's a huge red flag.
Definitely. Best case, you've reduced your business to just the value of your client list.
Right.
As opposed
right.
to the value of the process and the structure and the team that you've put together.
I think that's the best way to put it. So tell me what it's like to work with you.
As a client or as a team member?
As a client.
We start by digging deep into what are you doing every day. We do an activity spreadsheet where you track your activity. A lot of owners hate doing this, but it sheds light on what's some low-hanging fruit that we can pull off your plate quickly and either delegate off, write a quick process off, or show you a quick fix for it in a software tool. We do that as well as have several conversations with you, your team members. There might be 1099s or spouses that want to be involved in this discovery. And then you get an implementation plan. That implementation plan will mention software to use. It will mention the processes we need to write. It might mention that we're missing job descriptions, or there are some specific roles that need to be filled. It might be that there are some things that we could help you as far as project management or fractional COO level work. So that's very customized to what your company needs. At the end of that, we've completed our consulting part of our work. But unlike most consultants, we know giving a small business owner another list of things that they will never do is not helpful. It's just money down the drain. So we come in and we will implement all of it. Either we'll do it ourselves, we can help delegate to your team and hold them accountable to get it done, or we can just supervise your team in doing it. So tag team, however that works to get you to that finish line, we will help drive getting it in place.
That makes so much sense because, I mean, there's so many things I know I need to do for my business. I know pretty well. Maybe I don't know all the steps, because if I knew the steps, maybe I would have gotten it done. But right now it's like, I know I need this, but to have somebody come alongside and do it with me, just that means then, like you said, it's the difference between getting it done and not getting it done.
Right. And doing it with you or doing it for you or modeling it for you. Any of those are paths to accomplish it. And if you don't have time, if your business is going like crazy, great, we'll do it all for you. But, you know, there is usually a financial side of that too, where we have to balance. There's also, most of the people we're working with are a little bit overwhelmed. So we can move really fast. But we don't want to overwhelm with change either. So sometimes that needs to be paced out so that everyone is very comfortable moving along the change that is going to come.
Yeah. And I think it's important to remember too that sometimes the people working in the company are more implementers anyway, and that having somebody come along and help prioritize and say, okay, you know, that one, the timing for that one is, you know, after we do these 3 things. And that reduces their overwhelm too.
Absolutely.
So,
and we can reduce the training overwhelm too. As we roll out a new tool, we'll train on how they execute their processes in that tool. So we're not showing, oh, hey, here's how all the features work. We're showing you, here's how you do your job using the tools that we are recommending.
And that's a really good point too, because how many times when I get a new tool, I go to YouTube, I look up some tutorials on it, and then what I have to do in my brain is not only listen to them, but then translate internally and go, okay, how does that apply to how I think I'm going to use that tool? What do I just let go? What do I focus on? But I haven't even started to use the tool. So I see how having someone from your team do that with me would be invaluable.
I think there are a lot of people that when they get a new tool, they're like, oh, well, this is going to solve X. Great. I got a new CRM. My sales problems are over. It's not a magic button, right? You have to implement the tool properly along a process. I look at it as though if you had a hammer and nail sitting on your desk with a picture, just having the tools does nothing. Right? You need to know, what wall does it go on? How high do you want it? Does it need an anchor? You know, is it going in? All of those are the thought processes behind getting that done. And if you don't, you still just have a hammer and nail and a picture sitting on a desk.
Yeah. Not only that, 2 things. When someone sells you that hammer and nail and that solution, so to speak, they're not really giving you the how, they give you the what.
Right.
And they hype it up and you feel like, ooh, I've got the package, I'm done, I'm good. But the reality is there's still more to it. And then if you don't do anything with it, then it's sitting there and it's nagging at you. And that's a whole different thing. And that probably contributes to that chaos in the brain, right?
Absolutely. And it could be costing you money.
Yeah, especially if it's a subscription, which it typically
Yeah,
is.
we've come into some places where they have tried and failed. They'll say, oh, I've tried Trello, Asana, Teamwork. None of them work. Okay, well, it's not the tools that aren't working. Any of those actually work. It's how you're using them and how you're implementing them in your business that is not working.
And that's what the tools don't. Just buying the tool
Right.
and seeing the list of features, that's just the beginning. It really is. This episode is sponsored by ProVideo Pages, where we're revolutionizing the way professionals connect with prospects. Our video-based sales pages offer a fresh perspective, bridging the gap between trust and action. Imagine sharing your story, your authenticity directly with potential clients. Forget generic websites and focus on genuine connections. So whether you've received a referral or just had that critical first meeting, consider a ProVideo page. It's the secret weapon your competition doesn't even know exists. Ready to elevate your business? Reach out today and discover if a ProVideo page is the missing piece for you.